Hi, happy Saturday. I just thought I would come on. I was going through a lot today, just resolving some things and some healing work. And I'm not really sure where this video is going to take me, but we'll see. When it comes to spiritual awakening and finding your way to get connected with Source and with the divine energy, everybody does it differently. And that's the beauty of it, is that we're all different, but we're all connected. We're all the same, but we all need different avenues and ways to get to where we need to be, right? And it's just good to be mindful that just because somebody else is doing it a different way doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it not valid. And we should be mindful when we invalidate somebody. Like I had somebody today actually say, oh, well, those oracle cards don't do anything. That's silly. That's not the way to connect. But for me, I have my ways that I connect with spirit. I connect walking in nature. I connect with my oracle cards. I connect with my crystals. There's so many different ways to get connected. And just because I don't do it the way that somebody else does it, like if somebody else is like, I go to church, I pray, and I pray too. I don't go to church. I'm not a religion. I'm just a person that's here that believes in a power greater than myself. And I believe that spreading love and light is our purpose, and to be here for one another. So I very kindly was like, well, I would never judge somebody else for their thoughts, their beliefs of what they need to do in order to feel connected to their God or their higher power. Because that's important. Non-judgmental, unconditional love, that's what I want to spread. And so sometimes it is hard to be you, and it is hard to, because what that did was it brought up a lot of emotions within me, a lot of emotions. And the emotions within me were my ego. It was not from my heart. It was my ego. And my ego was like, oh no, how dare he? That's not cool. But the fact of the matter is it's okay, because I can take a moment, remove the emotion from it, and look at it wholly. And know that it doesn't matter what that person believes at all. What matters is what I believe and what makes me feel love and what makes me feel the peace that I need to feel. And not be upset at them because they just don't get it. And that's fine. It's not their time to get it. It's not their time to understand me or anybody else. It's them to work on them. And I would never force or push anything of my beliefs on somebody else. It's just like, okay, that's great. I'm glad that you're able to find your higher power the way that you find your higher power. Was it cool that it felt invalidated? Did it hurt? Yeah, of course it hurt. It hurt my ego. But that's just my ego. Let that go. Let that brush away. That's the only way I can let that go, is emotion, because I get emotional. I'm very sensitive. And so in order to let that go, I had to separate the emotion from it and know in my heart what I'm doing for me is good for me. And everybody is different. Everybody's going to find their own way. That's why it's important when you're on a healing journey or spiritual journey that you try different things. And you'll know if it feels good on you or it doesn't. If it doesn't feel good on you, you take it off. Put it to the side. Just like when you're trying on clothes, something doesn't fit right, you take it off and you let it go. And you find something else that you put on that makes you feel good. And that's what you do for you. And that's super important. And then I also remember that following your emotions to know what step to do next Emotions are tricky. So because you want to follow the right emotions, and how do you know whether the right emotion is coming up or not? Whether it's your ego emotion, which is up here in your head, or if it's your heart emotion that's coming from your heart. So if it's coming from your head, it's going to be fear-based. It's going to feel fearful, like, or upsetting. If it's coming from your heart, it's going to feel love. It's going to feel calm. It's going to feel not rushed. So I've kind of recognized that today, which was super appreciative and grateful that I saw that, and being able to differentiate the two, because, you know, I'm always like, follow your emotions and follow your heart, but there's a difference. Like, the ego mind gets in there, and it's a lot of fear-based information it's feeding us and wants to keep us safe, which is its job. But sometimes what it thinks is safe, there's nothing unsafe about it. It's just from past experiences. You've lost some trust, you've lost some faith, including in yourself. I also learned today about how nobody else is better than anybody else. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's done something at some point in their life. We're all equal, no matter what. You know, because we tend to put people on pedestals and think that they're better than us. And our ego mind says, you'll never be good enough. They're better than you. But in actuality, when things finally come to light, and I saw it today for what it was, I was like, I'll be damned. Like, nobody else is better than me. I'm not better than anybody else. We are just equal. We are all the same. We're all just on our own journey, doing our own thing, our own path. And the path is unconditional love and spreading that. It's so important to spread that love. And like, even now, these days, I'm finding myself viewing my thoughts so clearly. The other day I was watching a conversation and I was just observing, and it was like I was there physically, but then it was almost like I left my body and I'm looking at the conversation that's happening, and I'm also looking at the conversation that's happening in my head. And you would not believe the conversations that was happening in my head at the same time the conversation was happening in front of me. Like, I had a lot of negative thoughts about myself while that conversation was happening. But at the same time, I'm hearing the conversation and seeing how people play off each other, and how we're all just looking for, you know, confirmation and to be liked, and like somebody was just repeating something else that somebody else said, and they're like, yeah, and it was just seemed like such a great conversation. But like, I just saw the intricacies of the conversation. So to be able to separate myself from all of that, from all the emotion and everything else, see the conversation for what it was, see how people play off of each other, and then hear my thoughts in the background and all the negative thoughts that was happening. I didn't realize how many negative thoughts I have and how judgmental that I can be. Like, I've been surrounded by things lately that are really judgmental, you know, surrounded by people that are very judgmental. And so it's starting to affect me. Like I said, energy affects energy, and you know, vibrations affect vibrations. And so it's like being stuck in a spider web. You know, I'm in a spider web and I'm stuck in it, and I get an arm loose and then my leg's still stuck. But it's about catching those thoughts. Like, if I'm walking somewhere and I'm looking at somebody and I'm oddly enough thinking something negative, I'm like, why am I doing that? Jen, really? Like, what do you see about them that's loving? You know, focus on the loving bit. Like, what is it that's so loving that you can find within that person? You know, see them through the eyes of an angel. Don't be so critical. Don't be so judgmental. So sometimes it's just because we're affected by what's going on around us, and we're being pulled into that energy vibe, where I want to transcend and go beyond that. I want to, and I've been catching all of my thoughts lately, even the smallest thought, even my own personal negative thoughts of my ego mind trying to shut me down. And seeing them for what they are and being able to change them in the moment is what's going to make it change for good. 21 days to create a habit, right? So 21 days, and just keep catching those thoughts, keep addressing them, keep pushing for finding the good in everything, even though it may not seem good in the moment regardless. And then being able to see if you're in a toxic environment and being able to remove yourself from that toxic environment as quickly as you can. And if you can't, then learning how to work with it. So I have to work a lot harder to keep my mind focused on the positivity and the love and light of everybody and everything. So it's just going to require more meditation time, more self-care for me, more work, obviously. But with that comes growth. So the positive in that is the growth and what I'm learning about myself. And it's really hyper focusing on me on like really making sure that I am staying positive and I'm putting out positive vibes, because I want, like that singing bowl video where it affected the other bowl because it started singing just because I played the one. I want to put out the positive vibes. I want somebody else to be affected by the good, loving vibes that I'm sending to them or to whatever's around. So when I go for my walks in nature, like I just put out that love and that vibe, and I want more people to be affected by that and influenced by that. That is what's important to me. That is what would mean the world to me and help me find peace and love and faith again, because we are all human, we all make mistakes, but we are all equal. And we are all just doing the best we can with what we know. And I know that, and I'm going to keep working every day to be better and to be more loving and be more caring and really bring it home to my thoughts and what I'm putting out and what I'm doing and what I'm addressing with people. So hopefully that transforms and makes this world a better place and helps me feel better for being here, and just continue to send those good vibes, paying it forward, those good vibes. So important, so important. So I just want to come in here and share that real quick. I hope this message finds you well. I hope that whatever situation you're in, you're able to bring it back to your heart space and be able to feel that love and light that we all deserve and that we're accepting of. And may that you find healing within yourself like I have today, especially, with things that have happened in the past, to be able to just feel that love. Like, regardless of what happened, you deserve to forgive yourself. You are forgiven. You are perfect just the way you are. We are all human. We all make mistakes. We're perfectly imperfect. I love you. God loves you. The angels love you. And just know that you deserve all good things in life. It's okay to accept in the goodness and the love that you need and deserve. So thank you for being here. I love you, and I will see you soon. Bye.